Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today I thought I'd tell you guys the story of the first recession. Well, it's not the first one, but the first one to happen while I was alive. It hit in 2000, I think they called it the Recession of '08 in the US, but it hit my family about 2006. And I'm not gonna get like too deep into it, but being in my 30s now, I look at it completely different. It like messed me up for a while there because my relationship with money was so tied to my self-worth and my self-esteem. But to make a long story short, at the time, I was on summer break. I was going to school in Cincinnati, and we had a home in our main residence in a small town in Kentucky. I tried the public schools there 1 year, and it was not good as a little closeted gay boy, and then tried a non-denominational religious school as a little Catholic kid, the only ones in the school. Wasn't good either. So watching E! True Hollywood Story one day, y'all remember that? Gosh, that was such a good show. I saw Sarah Jessica Parker's, and lo and behold, she's from Cincinnati and went to a school called SCPA, School for Creative and Performing Arts. I went on my little AOL.com, got a pamphlet, went and auditioned, got into the school. And since my dad owned apartment buildings in downtown Cincinnati, what's now considered over the Rhine, OTR, don't even get me started. He paid $15,000 for that home in 1999, and it's worth like $500,000, if not more now. The reason he got it so cheap is a man was murdered in it. Actually, two people, a man and his nurse. I'll tell you that on a different story time. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear about my high school bedroom being the place a nurse was found stabbed in the head. Anyways, back to the recession story. I'm at our house in Kentucky, the main residence, and my dad wakes me up, and it's nothing like out of the blue for him to ask, but he goes, "Hey, can you grab your iPod and your iPod adapter from your car?" And I'm thinking, okay, I had a Jeep Wrangler at the time, and the way our driveway garage situation, my dad was a car guy, so we had like 8 cars. Whatever car's blocking, just take it, just go. Not a big deal. So I thought, okay, I guess I'm blocking you in and you need to use my car. But I go to like follow him to retrieve it. Or he had said, "No, I'm not taking your car. They're taking your car." I'm like, "Who's they?" So I get up and I walk, and from the kitchen, I see the garage and the garage door open, and there's 2 flatbed tow trucks and a family of 4 that I guess it was the repo business, mom, dad, and 2 kids. I believe there was a daughter. I can't remember, but I do remember the son, because he said, if we can't load all the cars on the trailers, I can drive the Corvette. And he was in my dad's 1975 Corvette. It was orange over black. I called it the Halloween car because I was born 2 days before Halloween. And that was the first car I kind of really drove before he bought me the Jeep. And I'm like, that car was owned before you met my mom. He got it out of his first divorce. Once, papers were signed and everything, he bought himself a carton of cigarettes and a Corvette and moved down to Nashville. So I didn't understand, but now as a 30-something-year-old, I'm like, oh, he used the cars as collateral. Wish he never did that. So they tow away his 68 Stingray convertible, 75 Stingray T-tops, mom's Jaguar XJ, the boat, cabin cruiser. I know there was more than that. Because they let us keep 2 vehicles. We had a farm pickup, an old GMC, and we had a 1984 Camaro he ordered new from the factory. He was a GM guy, and he would never. We always like, why do we still have that? Like, I wish I had it now. But he goes, "I brought you and your little sister home from the hospital in it." So sentimental. I totally get that now as an adult myself. But I walk out and that's what I'm seeing. This little dude in dad's Corvette talking like, I'll drive this, and just like they're like wrangling stuff, we're moving cars, just like, and the neighbors, we lived on 7 acres, so like the neighbors were far. They weren't far enough. They were able to stand on their like patio and watch. And it's not, you knew it wasn't just like, oh, their Jaguar broke down because mom had a Jag. So that's plausible. Yeah, it broke down. Tow truck's here to take to the shop. No, not when you have 4 cars on tow trucks. But after that moment, I'll never forget, because I didn't know what our financial status was. I was 18, so at 15 I was given a gold Amex for my birthday. 16, a black Wrangler with a hard top, because my favorite movie was Clueless, so I wanted a white Wrangler. I wanted a Wrangler like hers. I honestly didn't care about color. I'm out there living my best life, whipping my Wrangler around, using my Amex in Cincinnati, Kroger, Urban Outfitters, Chipotle, La Rosa's, what do you want, what do you need? I'd pay for meals for my friends. Like, I'm living in a fantasy world. And then my bubble is burst. So I did what you should not do. I was like, oh, we're not going to tell anybody. We're going to live a complete facade. I got credit cards, Saks, Fifth Avenue, downtown Cincinnati. I got one at Neiman Marcus, got Express. I mean, if they offered it, I got it. And I lived for others for a good, honestly, up until I got sober. I was putting on for others for acceptance. Moving a lot as a child and being a closeted gay boy, that's all I craved. That's all I wanted, was the acceptance of others, friendship. And that's something to this day, especially as an adult, is friendships. Because I'm jealous of you folks out there that are like, oh yeah, I know, oh, from 3rd grade, my friend from kindergarten. Like, the longest I have a friend go back is like junior year of high school, which I know you're going to lose contact with all those people, blah, 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 whatever. I get it. And maybe moving around made me the person I am, but it gave me a lot of insecurities, and I filled that hole with things. And I did that for so long that once I finally sobered up, sadly, like 3 years ago, it'll be 3 years in January, I put so much stock into what other people's thoughts or perception of me was. And right after I got sober, like in that first year, when all my my brain like signals are starting to like fire on all cylinders, I start realizing things I want out of life and things I don't. And I was having a conversation with someone I'm no longer close with, and they were being a little braggadocious. And I just stopped them and said, hey, I'm not as impressed with wealth as I used to be. Just like, hard stop. Like, that's not my jam anymore. And then pandemic hit, and it really helped me realize, oh, I don't care about what anybody thinks, to be honest. I need to worry about what I think of myself. And as a gay man in my 30s, now sober, wasted a lot of time on that. So with us on the precipice of another recession, it just made me think of that story of, whoa, the day everything was taken. And then later down the road, not too much later, but like within that same year, we lost the house in Kentucky and the buildings in Cincinnati. And if we could do it all over again, my dad passed 6 years ago. I remember him saying something like, we could keep the residents in Cincinnati, but my mom, it was an over the Rhine. And if anyone's familiar with Cincinnati, it was not the hot spot in 06, 07, like to live. Mom did not want to live there. So we didn't move in there. Had we done that, I noticed it literally was, Dad paid $15,000 in 1999 and it was just valued at $500,000. And I'm like, okay, nothing you can do now, but just remember, your self-worth is not in your clothing, the car you drive, the sunglasses you're wearing. I'm not a jewelry person, thank goodness, but it took way too long for me to figure that out. So hopefully somebody watching this video realizes. And another thing, you're only young once. You'll be old forever. Stop worrying. Relax a little bit. I guess I'm talking to my younger self now. But if anyone wants to hear any more story times, I thought that's what this channel is for. Tell stories that maybe resonate with other people. I've lived a life. I've moved a lot, and I've had some fun and wild experiences. If you guys want to hear the story about the apartment building in Cincinnati I lived in and why my dad got it so cheap, because 2 murders occurred there, and my bedroom was where the nurse was murdered with the knife found in her head. I can tell you guys that story. So leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, give me feedback, whatever you guys think. I hope you have a great day, a great weekend, and a great rest of 2022. Thanks for watching my video, guys. Bye.